This is about a new California law which is causing a major controversy that it will now make it no longer a felony to knowingly and without disclosure expose sexual partners to HIV. Exposing someone would now be classified as a misdemeanor as of January 1st. The law previously punished people who intentionally exposed or infected others with HIV by up to 8 years in prison. The new legislation will lower jail time to a maximum of 6 months. The new law will also eliminate the penalty for knowingly donating HIV-infected blood.
Okay, so where is the justification for this, Ariba?
Okay, so
what is the impetus behind this move?
The supporters of this new law are trying to remove the stigma, destigmatize people who have HIV, and put it on the same level as other sexually transmittable diseases that are treatable. And they're trying to encourage more people with HIV to come forward and get medical treatment, and rather than incarcerating them, but actually help them get the medical care that they need.
But here's my problem with this. If we're talking about the law applying to people who know that they're HIV positive and yet going to donate blood, knowingly expose sex partners, why does the law apply to them and not so much, you know, that other aspect that would be subject to stigma?
That was the argument for people who opposed the passage of this law. They said, look, if you have HIV, you have to be responsible in your sexual partners. You have to be responsible with the way that you donate blood, and it's not like any other STD. And the folks that were in opposition said that 8 years makes sense. This should be a felony, not a 6-month misdemeanor.
I mean, isn't there case law that you can go after somebody if they have another type of STD knowingly and don't tell you and you get it?
Yes, but under California law, if you knowingly transmit a STD, like herpes or something, you didn't get 8 years. It wasn't a felony in the same way that knowingly transmitting HIV. So the thought of the lawmakers, and I know a lot of people disagree with this, it was highly controversial, was let's put this on the same level, the same playing field as other STDs so that we can encourage more conversation, more awareness, and ultimately more health care rather than incarceration.
When I read this, I was worried about the scenario where someone really truly want to harm someone else. You should be able to criminalize that behavior way above a misdemeanor. That's, to me, I don't understand, because obviously you want to destigmatize it, but why would you, for someone who knowingly potentially is trying to harm someone else?
Yes, and that's my issue.
I don't think we want.
And I don't know if we should equate HIV with herpes. I mean, from a medical standpoint,
it's completely different.
They are not the same.
Totally different.
Completely
it's more
different.
like hepatitis C. Okay, there's drugs for that too, but both Hep C and HIV are potentially lethal disease processes.
Well, and to me, if you knowingly and willingly try to infect someone else with hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, the list goes on and on. To me, that is like using a weapon trying to harm someone else, and you need to have the ability to prosecute accordingly.
Criminal offense.
I completely agree. I think in trying to correct a problem, the law went too far. Because I think we're all in agreement. If you knowingly transmit HIV to someone, you ought to be held accountable for that, both criminally and from a civil liability standpoint.
Especially in that intent to harm aspect that Dr. Travis just mentioned. In our field, we have very strict confidentiality clauses, but when we know that somebody has an intent to harm, we actually have to report them to the authorities, to some kind of official, and this would qualify. If I knew one of my patients was intending to inflict other people with his HIV positive status, I would have to basically tell authorities.
Well, and I do also want to be a little bit careful, because things have changed with HIV. Our treatments are so much more effective, and it's a wonderful thing, but there are a lot of youth out there who now believe that these sexually transmitted diseases that can be treated but not cured, they're no big deal. And I think the last thing we need to do is say, okay, well, they're no big deal. We need to destigmatize it, but these are still really big deals, and people still do die from them. And so we need to learn, destigmatize,
encourage treatment,
encourage testing, but not forget that there is a reason why these sexually transmitted infections can be deadly, and let's never forget that. This is interesting. I'm not sure other states. California is a different type of state. I'm going to openly say that.
It's a wonderful
state. Different. It's a different place. But I will say, I think that the beauty of us talking about this is that in and of itself, talking about it, maybe we're helping to destigmatize it.